Hi, welcome to Anicapped. Today, I will explain a 2018 dark fantasy called Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, the Battle of Unato. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. In the very beginning we see a little girl Miyuki, as she admires the snowfall. Her father Lord Kagyuki is behind her together with his friend Unmo. They all discuss how this might be the last snowfall. Lord Kagyuki is then seen begging for his life and he yells at Umno to tell the others that he is not the undead but human. Then a burning castle called Unato is presented, and we see a horde of the undead around it. The undead are called Kabaneri, and they are brainless walking corpses, who can transform a person into one of them with a single bite. For years they have been attacking Japan. After the main shogunate called Amatorai fell, the Kabaneri moved to other areas that now defend themselves on their own. Residents of Amatorai have built an armored train called Iron Fortress which they use to travel through Japan. That way they reach a city which is governed from the fortress of Unato. The city has been under constant attack for the past 5 years, and Kabaneri are constantly attacking residents of the city. Unato is unpassable because of the undead, and must be cleared in order for the Iron Fortress to proceed. Then we see a battle between the forces of Unato and Kabaneri. Their soldiers and militia are defending the city from an onslaught of undead zombies. Women are also helping by producing the weapons. In their factory Kabaneri suddenly break through and attack the ladies, but Mume appears and kills every single last one of them. She then goes out to help the other soldiers. She just came in with the Iron Fortress, so her friends who are skilled fighters also exit the train and kill the enemy. Mume climbs a watchtower where some Unato soldiers are in trouble and she fights Kabaneri to help them. She is then shocked when she sees how Kabaneri are jumping onto one of the soldiers, and one undead uses her deconcentration to pull her from below. But her best friend Ikoma then appears and shoots the zombie straight through his heart. They look behind them, and they see that zombies have formed a huge meatball around those soldiers. They break it, pull the soldiers out and blast the zombies with a couple of bombs. After the battle some soldiers tease Ikoma, and they call him a monster. It turns out that he and Mume are both Kabaneri, which means they are hybrids between humans and Kabaneri. Sometime in the past, they got bitten by the undead, but they managed to survive. One of the warlords is then seen discussing the war progress with his subordinate. He looks at the Unato castle and says it is a plague that is destroying these lands, and that he will destroy it. Inside the castle we see its horrors, and a white-haired man who looks different than the others. Ikoma is then seen again, writing some notes and looking at the footsteps of Kabaneri. He is very curious about it because they all move in the same direction, which is very strange since Kabaneri are pretty much brainless and they go only after blood and food. In the evening everyone is seen enjoying their free time in the city. Mume is with her friend and they are together working on a present for Ikoma. She then offers her gift to Ikoma, but it seems like something is bothering him, so he does not even look at it and goes on his way. Local warlords then have a meeting to form strategies that will end Kabaneri in this region for good. They are bringing their most powerful siege weapon, and they plan to use it to destroy the Unato castle. They form sectors and plan how they will deploy their armies. This will be a great operation that will decide the fate of many people. Ikoma then joins the war council and shares his theory about Kabaneri with others. He claims that Kabaneri are showing very strange behavior, and that someone is probably controlling them. He tells everyone that Kabaneri are most likely waiting for their attack, and that attacking the Unato castle would be a suicide since Kabaneri will be prepared. He further states how Kabaneri footsteps lead to the old mine. The mine is connected to the castle with a secret passageway, and that way they can secretly attack the city from behind. Everyone thinks he is crazy and that he should not be speaking at all, which makes Ikoma very angry. He then has a vision since he is half Kabaneri, and starts changing into one. It seems like anger brings out his Kabaneri side of him. In the vision the castle is calling him, so he decides to go there even by himself if needed. He is then seen packing his things and Mume joins him. She says how he could die if he goes there, but the boy is obsessed with the truth and he cannot be stopped. He gets too excited and yells at Mume. His face then changes and he once again turns into Kabane. Ikoma attacks Mume and almost bites her. The soldiers then arrive and subdue him. The warlord says he will give him one last chance before killing him. He will chain him in a local foundry, and if he does not turn into Kabane after a couple of days, he will let him go, otherwise he will be shot to death. The whole city waits for the siege train to arrive. In the meantime, we see how some residents of the city have joined forces with the Iron Fortress soldiers. They decide they will go to the old mines Ikoma was talking about, to investigate his claims that Kabane there have a secret entrance. A resident called Unmo, whom we saw at the beginning, says how he will lead them because he wants to see something with his own eyes. The group then reaches the mine, but there is nothing there. Luckily they discover another gate right next to the mine entrance and there is a Kabane seal on it. Something is definitely going on. Back in the city we see that the siege train has arrived early. It is a mighty and unique weapon that can bring salvation to the local population. Now everyone is gearing up and getting ready to attack. They will move sooner than planned. Back at the mine, the group is interrupted by those soldiers who previously mocked Ikoma, who point their guns at the group accusing them of working for Kabane. Then suddenly the secret passage opens and Kabane attack everyone. They kill almost everyone from the group, and humans must simply escape if they want to survive. Mume escapes into the passage and she fights her way through. She triggers some kind of a trap which closes the path behind her, so now she can only proceed further to the castle. On the surface we see that the siege train has reached the desired position, and is ready to shoot at the castle. However, there is that white-haired man who is getting ready to shoot at the siege train. Humans start their attack, and they launch massive projectiles towards the Unato castle. They do some serious damage, and warlords order their soldiers to reload the siege weapon. The white-haired man then fires at them from the castle, but he shoots blood instead of bullets. Everyone is confused about what is going on, but then an army of Kabane suddenly appears and attacks the siege train, and everyone around it. The white-haired man lured Kabane to the siege weapon, and they will do the rest. They climb the train and gather around the cannon, that way jamming it and making it unable to shoot. The attack leader then orders his soldiers to shoot the cannon again anyway. The cannon shoots, but the projectile explodes inside it, completely destroying the siege train. The command train then departs because they can now only run to save their lives. Kabane then attacked the command train, and kill everyone along with the warlord, and his train crashes and explodes. In the foundry, we see Ikoma who wants to join the fight, but he is not allowed to leave yet. He once again becomes enraged, this time because he feels that Mume is in danger. He turns into Kabane again and soldiers fire at him as promised. Ikoma becomes furious as never before, and he breaks the chains. He spares the soldier who shot him, and goes straight into the mine. Back there, Mume is running to reach the castle. The ground under her feet collapses, and she falls to the lower ground. There she encounters a weird Kabane. This one is faster and stronger than the rest, and it seems like her life is in danger. She fights the best she can and even takes the Kabane form. The creature tries to squeeze her with a gigantic rock, but Ikoma shows up and stabs it. After a brief fight, he shoots it multiple times, and the monster dies. Ikoma then hugs Mume, and they express their feelings to each other. Their Kabane markings then simply disappear, telling us that rage amplifies the Kabane infection, but love and peace can even make it partially go away. On the surface, we see the aftermath of the bloodbath. There are corpses everywhere, and that second warlord says he is out. He wants to escape the area to save his men. Lady from the Iron Fortress then attacks him, calling him a coward. She says her group will proceed with the attack, and that forces the warlord to reconsider his actions. In the tunnels, Unmo joins Mume and Ikoma with his tiny squad, and they enter the castle. They scan the area and Unmo tells us a story. He says how that white-haired man who controls Kabane is actually Lord Kagyuki. He was a local ruler and this is his castle. When Kabane attacked them 5 years ago, Kagyuki was bitten, but he claimed he was still human. His men then started shooting at him to kill him, but his daughter Miyuki jumped to save him, and they shot her instead by accident. Kagyuki then became a real monster, and he killed everyone but Unmo, who managed to escape. Kagyuki turned his daughter into Kabane to save her from dying. She is located in that blue cocoon at the top, and she is the main power source of the Kabane army. She holds and represents their trauma and agony, and she feeds off of it. Unmo says that she might soon transform into something called the Black Smoke. It is the ultimate Kabane form that will turn all of them into one terrible creature. The white-haired man is basically just protecting his daughter and buying her some time until she transforms. She must be stopped, and Unmo comes out of hiding to talk to Kagyuki, who instantly shoots him. Then Mume jumps out and rushes towards the fallen lord. They fight each other, and Kagyuki shoots at her, but the bullet deflects into the cocoon, and Miyuki becomes awake. Unmo shows up to stop them, but gets stabbed by Kagyuki. Ikomet joins the fight, but he almost dies. Mume then says how she will end the Kabane Lord, and she shoots him. Upon seeing that, Miyuki goes crazy, and she forces her transformation into the Black Smoke. The whole castle starts to shake and becomes alive. The group quickly escapes the area and boards the Iron Fortress. In the background, we see how the castle and Kabane have merged into one gigantic creature that starts to chase the train. The creature is extremely powerful, and it follows and attacks the robust train with ease. People inside the train quickly think of what to do to escape certain death. They decide to take a turn onto a railroad that is a dead end, because they want to use a tunnel before it. The train accelerates to the maximum and rushes towards the tunnel. Before the tunnel, people shoot at the Black Smoke to distract it, and it then crashes into a mountain above the tunnel. The train manages to stop right before it hits the dead end, and the monster screams in agony as we watch it disappear. It turns into a glowing particle that starts to fall down from the sky. Beneath the castle, we see Unmo and Lord Kagyuki, who becomes human again. They admire the particles and say how this is the last snowfall, just like they said at the beginning of the movie. Hey, thank you for staying all the way till the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It takes only a second, but it means everything to us. Have a great day and see you in the next video.